Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be covering the first half of Conan Epic Collections, Volume 4, which is covers the issues Conan the Cimmerian, issues 8 through 15. So this story starts off with this evil warlord called Thugra Kothan. Now he's about to lose this war when we start the book, so he slaughters some of his people and creates this blood potion, right? He drinks this blood potion. So I guess he also studies in sorcery. He's the last magician of his kingdom and so forth. So when the invading army comes in, he encapsulates himself in this like red ruby. Therefore, he'll live forever, and everybody, all his people will get slaughtered except him because he passed his soul on to this thing. Thousands of years later, this master thief goes into this tomb, which was believed to be cursed or and whatnot. And in this tomb, it became stuff of legends. All the thieves heard about it. They all want to be the one to break in there because they hear there's vast riches. One finally does. And there's all kinds of gold here, all kinds of treasures and jewels. And there's a big red ruby. So this guy could have had any of these treasures, but he reaches for the big ruby. And that's where this soul is encapsulated. So the moment he touches it, he starts almost like melting, right? So he met his own demise, if you will. Once he dies, he not only died, but he released the soul. So the soul now is onto this other evil sorcerer named Natohk. And now he wants to use these newfound powers that were given to him by somebody else, right? So he wants to use them to persuade this princess named Yasmela. He says here, "Soon, dear Yasmela, you shall see my human form in person, and you shall love me. I am Natohk. I will make you mine and teach you ancient forgotten ways of pleasure." Now here, this other more powerful sorcerer, this entity, if you will, gave him these powers to come back to life, but he wants him to conquer kingdoms, make vast riches, take over properties, if you will, right? Once this princess Yasmela gets this nightmare, it's like an omen. She says it's kind of like some type of warning, and it tells her to pursue this great one named Conan. So she finds Conan, and she makes him the commander of her army. They could have done something interesting here with Conan because now that he's a commander and no longer a warrior, the things are different. I would have liked to see him change some, and they vaguely hint at that he's different, but he's kind of still the same. He's still a barbarian at the end of the day, but it would have been nice to see him act differently because now he has to lead other men. He has to strategize, other responsibilities that come with being the commander. And now he's not just responsible for his own life, but for others. So anyways, he becomes a great commander. He wins this war against this sorcerer and his army, but they managed to kidnap Princess Yasmela, which was the main point what this sorcerers wanted. Once he escapes with this princess, we have this other sidekick character of his say, "Your request on the battlefield was honored, so my service to you is over. Set gave you the means to acquire an empire. Victory was within your grasp, yet you squandered it all to win this whore. You choose your prize, priest. Now you have her. Still, there remains a way to regain our master's favor and save yourself from his wrath. Go now and do this thing. Make amends with the master or be my slave in hell. My one of you clouded my mind, you hussy," he tells Princess Yasmela, because he's now sent to sacrifice her. Says, "Now I must redeem myself in the eyes of my God." So he's ready to sacrifice her now. He started this whole war for no reason, just because he wanted this princess, which at the end he couldn't have. He's losing his powers and he's getting older and older, almost turning into a skeleton. So he's trying to sacrifice this princess so he could get life back in him, right? That way he gets powers back again from his master. And Conan shows up and he catches him while he's still pretty weak. So the one chance he had is as a sorcerer, and right now he's very weak in power. He throws this serpent at Conan because he's like the sorcerer of serpents. Conan destroys him pretty quick, and then destroys also this sorcerer pretty quick. because he was at his powers were weak at the moment, right? So all in all, what did I think about this story? I thought the ending, the last issue was solid. The first two issues were good at setting up the story. The last issue with the war and the fight scenes was solid. But this was a 6-issue series. It's called The Black Colossus. You probably could have made it 3 issues or 4. The pacing was dragged down a little bit more than it needed to. So I would dock points for it for that reason. I kind of wish that this series, the Conan the Cimmerian, would have kept the same formula I started off with, which was a jump back and forth between stories of the grandfather, Conan's grandfather, and then back to present time with Conan, then back to the past with the grandfather back in his youth. I wish they would have kept that formula going. That way half the issue would be grandfather and half the issue would be set in the present time. I found it a lot more interesting that way. All in all, it was average. If you read this before, let me know what you think about it. Hopefully you hit that like button. If you want to see me do the second half of this review, hopefully you hit that subscribe button. That way I'll notify you on your feed when the next video is uploaded. Other than that, I'd like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to watch me talk Conan a little.